Welcome back. If you just joined us and watching the news at 10, broadcasting live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories this hour. Former head of state, General Yakubu Gowon, tells a gathering in London that he would only support a genuine national conference. The PDP wins a senatorial election in Delta Central. APC alleges fraud. Super Eagles of Nigeria edge closer to Brazil 2014 World Cup qualification with an impressive away defeat of Ethiopia. And a stampede at a religious festival in India results in the death of 89 people. Well, we have more details on all our top stories and other programs on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. But to get us on the move, then visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on an iPad, an iPhone, or a BlackBerry. You could also download the Channels TV app for Android and Nokia 920 from their respective stores. Also, you can now interact with Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have a picture or video to share with us, all you need to do is download the Channels TV Android application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions to share your report, pictures, and your videos. Now, there are calls by the civil rights groups for a review of the Nigerian constitution as regards the death penalty, which many argue is no longer popular. Arising from the recent World Day Against Death Penalty, the civil rights community condemned the continued enforcement of such a law in the country. Part of their argument is that the innocent risk losing their lives to the hangman, especially with the country's faulty and porous investigative and judicial system. Our correspondent, Omelogo Nadi, takes a look at the possibility of abolishing the death penalty here in Nigeria.
Section 33, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution provides for the right to life of a citizen to be taken away if he is found guilty of a capital offence such as murder, treason, armed robbery, and of recent terrorism. Recent statistics from the Nigerian Prison Service reveal that 1,138 inmates are on death row, and 19 of these are women. Despite the imposition of a moratorium on the execution of the death sentence in 2004 to pave way for abolition, the death sentence persists in Nigeria. Till date, Nigeria remains one of the major countries in Africa where the death penalty is still enforced and legally authorized.
If you kill and the judge sentences you to death, the governor will sign. Even the governor sometimes find it difficult to sign. I've been quarreling with the governors that they must sign, because that is the law.
Such a stance and the recent execution in Edo State of 4 death row inmates have inspired the fresh call for the reinstating of an official moratorium on executions.
The National Human Rights Commission supports a review of the law on death penalty based on a case-by-case basis. Asserting that the death penalty is too absolute and executions irreversible, ASF France calls on the government of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to reinstate an official moratorium on executions.
One consistent argument in favor of the abolition of the death penalty is the risk of an innocent encountering the hangman's noose.
It is impossible to run through the horrifying greed of SARS facilities without returning a confessional statement.
Another downside to the death sentence that has been cited is the psychological effect to the wards of the persons on death row, as well as the risk of heightened hostility on the society by the crime perpetrators.
Currently in Nigeria, babies and little children of female detainees on death row remain in prison facilities alongside their mothers. These children are subjected to the same living conditions as the detainees.
But what other alternatives to the death sentence are there to ensure justice is served? And would crime not increase with its abolition?
In life jail, and that will serve as a punishment. Nobody is asking that anyone who has been convicted of crime in Nigeria should go free.
Stop crimes, not lives. That is what these advocates of the abolition of the death penalty are saying. But while these arguments for against the death penalty continue, Nigeria must yet prepare for abolition. This will be done by reviewing the constitution and enacting adequate laws that will tackle capital offences. But first, political will must be incurred. Omelogo, Nadi Channels Television News.
The security challenges in Nigeria should not be the business of the federal government alone. In a move to assist various security agencies in the fight against crime, the Ekiti State Governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, has inaugurated an 800-strong Peace Corps. Governor Fayemi believes the Corps will not in any way interfere with the operations of the regular security outfits, while the coordinator of the Corps is soliciting the cooperation of Ekiti citizens.
Just like the regular security agencies, the newly inaugurated Ekiti Peace Corps goes through a parade. The law establishing the agency empowers its officers to arrest anybody found committing crime in the state. Suspects arrested by the Peace Corps must, however, be handed over to the police within 2 hours of arrest for further investigation and possible prosecution. Those wary about the Peace Corps such as these are, however, pointing at the possibility of the Corps meddling in the affairs of regular security outfits.
The Ekiti State Peace Corps mandate does not in any way overlap or replace the role of the constitutionally recognized law enforcement agencies such as the Nigerian Police Force, the State Security Service, the Nigerian Armed Forces, or any other paramilitary agencies. Rather, the Peace Corps has a mandate to complement the efforts of these federal agencies in providing a grassroots-based approach to security sector management in our state.
The coordinator of the Peace Corps, Mr. Dipo Ayeni, somehow echoing the governor's thoughts, is of the view that the populace should also contribute its quota in the fight against crime.
No security agency can do it alone. Hence, there is need for collaboration. There is need for synergy among all security agencies. This one is more unique in the sense that they are familiar with the terrain.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit.
The Ekiti Peace Corps is also expected to assist in the peaceful resolution of crises through reconciliation, as well as assisting official law enforcement agencies to ensure peace and maintenance of law and order at public gatherings. The governor is also urging members of the public to always provide the Peace Corps with information and support in intelligence gathering to apprehend criminals.
We can now bring you that report on the situation at the University of Nigeria and Nsukka, where the joint trade unions have alerted the public on what they perceive as the administrative impunity of the university vice-chancellor, Professor Barth Okolo. The UNN branch of the unions comprises the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, and the Inter-University Centres. While at a press conference in Enugu, the Joint Action Committee of the unions asked the federal government to sanction the Vice-Chancellor for violating the directives of the President concerning staff welfare and proper administrative coordination.
It is a clear and bold inscription on the big signpost, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, welcoming everybody to one of the nation's oldest citadels of learning in the southeast. Beneath the facade of calm and serenity is a boiling cauldron of dissatisfaction amongst the members of the Branch Academic Staff Union of the University, ASU, the Non-Academic Staff Union, NASU, and the Inter-University Centres. The joint union, in a press conference presided by the UNN branch chairman of ASU, decried the activities of the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Barth Okolo, which according to the union ranges from phony staff recruitment and placement, unauthorized and illegal meddlesomeness in staff emoluments.
The unions do not deal with dismay the non-payment of the 20 months salary arrears owed staff by the university administration, which other universities paid several years ago. We therefore demand for the payment of these arrears to the affected staff of the university immediately.
On the flip side, however, the Communications Secretary to the Vice-Chancellor maintains that he is not aware of such developments, while a senior research fellow at the Institute of African Studies confirmed it was not peculiar to UNN.
I have not been briefed at all on the issues.
It is not unique to the University of Nigeria alone. Most federal universities, if not all, have not received their salaries. The non-academic staff, they've just received 1 month. I know it's a national issue.
However, the senior research fellow traces the problem of the university to the time of the sole administrator.
In fact, whatever problems we have today in this campus originated from the time of Gonwork, from the point when Professor Udala was removed. And that was when the ASO of this institute mortgaged their rights, when they came up and supported a sole administrator against an elected vice-chancellor.
ASU and NASU are asking that the federal government set up a commission of inquiry to investigate the activities of the Vice-Chancellor and also sanction the Vice-Chancellor for violating the directives of the visitation panel in the panel report of 2004 to 2010 of the university.
The Finance Minister and Coordinator Minister of the Economy has criticized the insistence of Liechtenstein to hold on to the loot of former head of state General Sani Abacha in its banks. Dr. Okonjo-iweala made her comments at the Conference of Global Banks in Washington, D.C., the United States, where she urged the repatriation of the 185 million euros to Nigeria.
When we identified this money 14 years ago, we set a series of steps to try and get it back. It's gone through several courts. The companies or their representatives have always thrown legal challenges every step of the way. It's now got to a stage where the courts in Liechtenstein have litigated and said the money should be returned. However, the Abacha, those companies have taken the case to the European Court of Human Rights, saying that the Liechtenstein government has, violated their human rights by allowing this money to be taken away from them. And that's where, of course, that charge does not obtain. But by taking it to that court, that means another 2 or 3 years delay, isn't it? It's just delaying tactics. Now, delaying tactics suits the government of Liechtenstein very well because they get to keep the money. Their banks give the money, and what will they do? They will invest it and get money out of it. So if this keeps being delayed, this is denying Nigeria its rightful possession. And the Liechtenstein government asked us to sign a guarantee that if the European Court of Human Rights finds them for any reason, we will indemnify them. That means we will pay that fine. We said fine, just to get out, because the likelihood that they will be fined for acting in this way is very limited.
Finance Minister and Coordinator Minister of the Economy. And when the news at 10 returns, Art Review examines the works of a social activist and his paintings. Do join us again.